when you get onto self-improvement, it's very difficult to stop yourself from overthinking, especially when you're not happy with where you are in life and you're not satisfied. You may have improved your looks a little bit, you may have improved your physique, you might just look better in general, right? You may feel better, you may have like improved your life in general over the last 2 or 3 years. But the two things you want the most still elude you, right? Getting a girlfriend and making life changing money. But I think these are the two things that guys want the most that really change your life experience. This is where the real hard work starts. Your self image needs to change. You need to hit a new stride. In terms of Tony Robbins' words, you need to raise your standards, right? So, in terms of making life changing money, right, you need to completely level up, right? I'm talking like you can't eat junk anymore. You can't eat junk or have breakfast in the morning because it messes with your focus, and you can't waste the most productive hours of your day, right? You can't be doing the whole, oh, I play video games, or I watch YouTube for like an hour a day just to wind down, because, oh, that's an extra hour you could be spending either working or sleeping so you can be more productive the next day, right? These are things that you just need to hit a new level, right? And I like to think of like athletes, right? Like when you watch athletes play, right? Or if you just someone who's into sports in general, right? There's certain caliber of athletes, right? And I want to stick to football. There's a certain caliber of footballer, right? There's certain ones who are like, oh, they play well and everything, right? But there's another player, right? Like there's like another level of player. Like just imagine like the Premier League, for example. Say you're playing like your reserve team or whatever in like a game that isn't so important. You play your reserve team, and then you guys are like 1-0 down or whatever, and then the manager brings on, like, he makes three substitutes and he brings on three first team players. Instantly you notice the quality difference, like just instantly, right? And then also, like, if you have a team that's playing, say, you're playing like a team like in the Premier League, they're okay or whatever, but they're playing in the Champions League, and I'm just picturing like back in like 2000 and I don't know, like 2011 or whatever. So you come up against like prime Barcelona, right? And it's like you can just see the levels. The levels are just next. It's just different, right? They're just different. It's just a certain caliber of player, right? A certain caliber of team, just in general. And this goes on across the board. You can apply it. You can apply it to flipping. Like, I'm thinking of what do you call it? I'm thinking of the series Suits, right, with like Harvey Specter and stuff. I'm just thinking like just lawyers, right? Again, there's just a certain caliber of lawyer. There's certain lawyers who just didn't. They're just not as good. Like, that's just the way it is, right? And for you, you want to hit that next level. You want to hit your next stride. You want to be in that on that level where people look at you and they're like, damn, this guy is like next level. Like, everything about you, like, it's even like your style. Like, when you look at people who are like, oh, this person, like, they've got decent style or whatever. Like, they got good fit and there's quality and whatever. But someone else comes in, like, they step in the room and their style is just on a different level, right? And like I said, this applies across the board, right? And you want to be that person that's like next level, right? So again, I've said this before, I like to use like athletes as a source of motivation, because like for most guys, like being like sports and being an athlete is very motivational for us, right? So we can apply it to our lives, right? Imagine you're an athlete and you want to hit that next level, you want to take your next stride. You can't be having all these bad habits like eating like crap, going out partying and all that. Like, if you want to be a top level athlete, like, you need to be on the Cristiano Ronaldo mentality, right? Like, you're on it every day and you're optimizing your life to be the best athlete you can be, because you're next level, right? That's just the way. That's just the way it is. Like, for you, if you want to hit the next level, you want to make like life changing money, you can't just be like, oh, I work on my business like 2 hours a day or whatever it is. Like, you need to be on it. Like, you need to have a proper routine. You need to be focused. You need to be doing research every day to get yourself to the next level, and then you need to be on it. Like, just think about someone like Iman Ghazi, bro. Like, he's rich. That's the next level rich guy. Like, at the age that he got rich at, right? Like, multi-millionaire before the age of 20. Like, at the age of 18. Basically, no one gets to do that. But if you want to be like that next level, he was very focused. Like, even if you look at the way he's been creating content over the last couple of years, like, it's high level, proper production. Like, it's intentional, and that's how you need to be about your life and everything that you do. You need to have a next level. And as I said, in Tony Robbins' words, you need to raise your standards. And then when it comes to getting a girlfriend, as I said, like again, this is also like a place where you realize that like you need to stop being so desperate, right? Stop being so desperate for a girl, right? Um, Picture like James Bond, like Thomas Shelby. Like again, I spoke earlier about changing, like a mindset shift, self-image change. It's a similar thing here. You don't picture like James Bond or Tommy Shelby or Harvey Specter being like desperate for a girl, right? They're just focused on their mission. They focus on their mission. They focus on their lives and whatever it is. But again, when they interact with women or women they like they're very confident. Like women want them and whatever it is. So like that needs to be you, right? And you need to stop being like mentally. It's a mentality shift, a mindset shift. You can't be desperate anymore. Like you need to focus on building your life, while simultaneously building your social skills on the side and whatever it is. But your main focus needs to be on becoming successful, right, or whatever it is, like your life. You need to focus on building your life, and it can't be on being like desperate for a goal like that. That's just anti-productive, right? It makes you less attractive to girls in general, because what kind of woman wants to be with a guy who's like just desperate, like, oh, you're gonna be like the star of my world, right? Like women want to go into like the life of a man that like a man that's got a life that they want to join, because they're joining your life, right? Like that's just how it is. Like when you look at like a Thomas Shelby or a James Bond or even like a Harvey Specter, as I said, like they've got lives that are like interesting, and women like want to be part of that, and that mentality is exuded in like how they speak, right? They don't sense that desperation of like, oh, I really want your approval or whatever, and that's very like anti-seductive to women basically. So you need to focus on your life basically. Yeah, and you also need to let God direct you, right? Like I said, you can't be so desperate and set in your ways. You need to let God like direct you and let His plan for you come into fruition, right? Because like you don't know what He has planned for you, and that's the thing I find like ridiculous. And I've been dealing with this as well. It's like we think like we know more than God. It's like, oh no, God, like just I want to do this. Like, come on, just do this for me, right? Like he's a genie or something. And it's like, bro, this guy like it's not a guy. Like God literally created you and everything you know. He created everything you know to be. He's created it, so He knows everything, all knowing, all powerful. You could never know anything more than Him. So, and He's brought you this far. He's the only reason you are. He's the only reason you are where you are today, right? Everything you've ever gotten is because He's allowed it to happen, and He's put it in your life. So if He's gotten you this far and He's done everything for you, like surely you can trust Him to lead you down the right path in the future, right? So it's like, yeah, you need to let God direct you. Stop being so desperate and set in your ways of like, oh, I want this. Like, God, can you just make this happen? I'll be very happy or whatever. It's like, no, just be humble, right? And know that He's God, and just release and just, yeah, let yourself go. Or just let yourself go and just trust in God to lead you. Build your relationship with God. As I said earlier, you need to focus on building your life. Build your relationship with God and build your life. Focus on the things in your life that really matter, and listen to what God is trying to tell you, right? And then, as it says in Matthew, like, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. It's a similar concept. Even earlier as I was speaking, like, if you're like a Thomas Shelby or a James Bond, like you focus on like just being successful and having a mission and everything else comes along with, like, it's no problem. But you need to let yourself go, right? But you guys let me know what you guys think of the video in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to join the Self Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, I'll see you guys.